Choosing between hand controls or foot controls on some Bobcat skid steer loader models is now as fast and easy as pushing a switch, thanks to the new Advanced Control System. Available as a factory-installed option, the Advanced Control System, or ACS, allows the operator to select between foot controls or hand controls of the lift and tilt functions by using an instrument panel mounted switch. ACS also includes a lift arm float function, which can be engaged by pressing the yellow float button on the left control handle. In the float position, the loader's lift arms follow the contour of the terrain when back dragging. This section of the Bobcat Loader Operator Training Course discusses features specific to Bobcat skid steer loaders equipped with the Advanced Control System option. Remember, you must also follow the safety practices mentioned elsewhere in this program. Now we will learn how to select the ACS mode and operate the loader's lift and tilt functions using the Advanced Control System. First, stop the loader. Then select hand controls on the instrument panel ACS selector switch to operate the loader's lift and tilt functions with advanced hand controls. Activate the Press to Operate Loader button on the left instrument panel and release the parking brake before operating the loader. Move the left hand control lever to the left to raise the lift arms and move it to the right to lower the lift arms. Move the right hand control lever to the right to tilt the bucket or attachment forward and move it to the left to tilt the bucket or attachment backward. To engage the lift arms in the float position, use the yellow float button located on the left hand lever. With the left hand lever in neutral, press and hold the float button, move the left hand lever to the right, and release the float button. To disengage the lift arms from the float position, press the float button again or move the left hand lever to the left. This concludes the Advanced Control Systems training segment. Your instructor will now take over. The Bobcat all-wheel steer loader with skid steer capabilities is the first skid steer loader that features steerable axles. It operates as a skid steer loader when in skid steer mode, but what makes it unique is the operator's ability to select all-wheel steering or skid steering depending on the job requirements. In all-wheel steer mode, the front wheels angle in the direction the left joystick is moved, and the rear wheels angle in the opposite direction. The front and rear wheels follow in the same path and turn the loader in a gradual circle. In skid steer mode, the loader's wheels always remain aligned straight ahead during loader operation, and the wheels rotate in opposite directions to skid steer the loader. In both steering modes, the left joystick controls the loader's speed and direction of travel, and the right joystick controls the loader's lift, tilt, and front auxiliary hydraulics. In addition, joystick control reduces operator fatigue in both steering modes. This section of the Bobcat Loader Operator Training Course discusses features specific to Bobcat all-wheel steer loaders with skid steer capabilities. Remember, you must also follow the safety practices mentioned elsewhere in this program. After you are underway, you will notice that the left joystick controls the loader's speed and direction. The Bobcat all-wheel steer loader with skid steer capabilities offers two different steering modes: the all-wheel steer and the skid steer mode. The all-wheel steer mode is particularly useful when working in areas that require minimum ground disturbance or situations in which skid steer mode would create more tire wear, such as working on asphalt or concrete. When you are in all-wheel steer mode, you get precise steering from the coordinated action of all four wheels. The left joystick controls steering direction and travel speed. When you are in all-wheel steer mode, push the joystick forward and the loader will drive forward. Pull the joystick back and the loader will travel backwards. To turn left while driving forward, push the joystick forward and to the left. To turn right, push the joystick forward and to the right. To turn left in reverse, pull the joystick back and to the left. To turn right in reverse, pull the joystick back and to the right. The joystick moves in a C pattern when changing from a forward right turn to a backward right turn. Reverse the joystick pattern when changing from a forward left turn to a backward left turn. The operator can change steering modes from all-wheel steer to skid steer simply by bringing the loader to a stop, pressing the steering mode selector switch, and the press to operate loader button. Now he's ready to operate in skid steer mode. Changing back to all-wheel steer mode can be done in the same way. When in skid steer mode, push the joystick forward and the loader will drive forward. Pull the joystick back and the loader will travel backwards. To turn left while driving forward, push the joystick forward and to the left. To turn right, push the joystick forward and to the right. To turn left in reverse, pull the joystick back and to the right. To turn right in reverse, pull the joystick back and to the left. To change directions in skid steer mode from a forward right turn to backward right turn, instead of using a C pattern, use an S pattern with the joystick. First pushing the joystick forward and to the right, then pulling the joystick back and to the left. Reverse the joystick pattern when changing from a forward left turn to a backward left turn. To make a skid steer turn to the left, push the joystick straight to the left. To make a tight skid steer turn to the right, pull the joystick to the right. Finally, to turn the loader around within its own length, continue holding the joystick to the left or right. It is important that you understand this difference in the direction the loader moves when operating in reverse in the skid steer versus all-wheel steer mode. Remember to always look in the direction of travel when operating the loader in either steering mode, and know what selected steering mode you are in before operating. The turning radius in all-wheel steer mode is greater than in skid steer mode. There are switches and buttons on the left joystick to control other loader functions, like the optional 2-speed switch. Press the top of the switch for high-range travel speed. Remember to fasten your shoulder belt for additional restraint and lap belt when operating a loader equipped with optional 2-speed control while in high-range speed. Only the front wheels steer when in all-wheel steer and in high range. Remember to slow down before turning. Press the bottom of the switch for low-range travel speed. Additional switches control certain attachment functions. The inching control reduces travel speed to half that of low range, while engine RPMs remain the same, providing the operator full hydraulic speed and power at a slower travel speed. This feature is used when hooking up attachments, fine grading, or using attachments such as a planer. Remember, moving the left joystick smoothly is the best way to operate the loader in either steering mode. You are working with a hydrostatic transmission. The loader will react the moment you move the joystick control. The further the joystick is moved from the neutral position, the faster the loader will go. The right joystick controls the work group, that is, operation of the lift arms and bucket or other attachment. Pull back on the joystick to raise the lift arms. Push forward to lower the lift arms. Pull the joystick to the right to tilt the attachment forward. Push to the left to curl the attachment back. Some switches found on the right joystick control auxiliary hydraulic functions. The yellow button on the joystick is the float control, a useful feature when backdragging or leveling uneven terrain. A button on the front of the right joystick activates continuous flow for auxiliary hydraulics. Other controls in the operator cab area include the engine speed control lever. Bobcat all-wheel steer loaders also have an accelerator foot pedal. The hand engine speed control lever can be set at a specific position, and the foot pedal control increases engine speed as needed. This concludes the all-wheel steer loader with skid steer capabilities training segment. Your instructor will now take over. The Bobcat compact track loader is everything you want in a skid steer loader, but with dedicated rubber tracks. Not just an afterthought, the tracked undercarriage was specifically designed and engineered to float over soft or muddy ground, work on rough terrain, and provide increased digging traction. Like a skid steer loader, follow the safety practices mentioned elsewhere in this program. Because tracks distribute the loader's weight over a larger area, they deliver a smoother ride by carrying the machine over the top of rough terrain and obstructions such as ruts, potholes, and soft ground. When operating in loose or soft ground conditions or wet, slick surfaces, the tracks provide more ground-to-surface contact for increased traction. The compact track loader can keep pushing a load when the wheels of a rubber-tired loader might simply spin in place. The track loader's ability to tread lightly with reduced ground pressure helps minimize damage to lawns, natural terrain, and other established surfaces, and reduces the need for costly and time-consuming worksite reclamation after the job is complete. And because tracks provide better flotation than tires alone, the compact track loader can work in sandy or loose materials where other machines might bog down and sink. It is very important to maintain proper track tension on a compact track loader. If the tracks are too loose, they can easily derail. If they are too tight, they will wear out faster and cause increased stress on the entire track carriage system. Improper maintenance will substantially reduce the life of a track and its components. Follow the instructions for proper track tension adjustment in the operation and maintenance manual for your loader. To maintain optimum traction while operating a compact track loader, keep the full length of the tracks in contact with the ground. Raising the front end of the tracks off the ground during loader operation reduces traction and increases track wear. How much will a Bobcat compact track loader lift? The rated operating capacity of a compact track loader is 35% of its tipping load, as opposed to 50% for a rubber-tired loader. For example, the rated operating capacity of a Bobcat T190 compact track loader is 1,900 pounds or 862 kilograms. 35% of its 5,430 pound or 2,463 kilogram tipping load. The reduced rated operating capacity is necessary because dedicated track loaders have different stability characteristics when driving over rough terrain, obstacles, and driving up and down ramps or over curbs, for example. As you can see, the tracks can drop down when traveling over various types of surface conditions. Try to avoid skid turning a compact track loader. Move one control lever in the direction of the turn. Performing skid turns with a compact track loader creates more ground disturbance and will increase track wear. When traveling up and down slopes in a compact track loader, always go directly up and down the slope, never across. And like a skid steer loader, always keep the heavy end uphill and ensure you have adequate traction to avoid sliding. Avoid operating the loader with one track on a slope and the other on level ground, or with the edge of a track turned up against a curb or mound. This can cause cracks in the edge of the tracks, cracks at the edges of the embedded metal, and possibly derail the tracks. Do not turn on sharp objects like jagged rocks or broken concrete. Turning on sharp objects can cut through the surface of a track and damage the lugs. A compact track loader works well in soft and wet conditions, but it is important to keep mud and debris buildup down to extend component life. Remember to clean out mud and debris buildup from the track rollers, idlers, and sprocket areas daily. This is especially important when temperatures fall below freezing after loader operation. This concludes the Bobcat Compact Track Loader training segment. Your instructor will now take over.